The door creaked open like a whisper in a nightmare, and there it was, the sound that shattered everything. A low, guttural moan slithered from my bedroom, followed by the rhythmic slap of skin against skin, raw and unapologetic. My keys slipped from my fingers, clattering on the hardwood floor like gunfire in the quiet apartment. I froze, heart slamming against my ribs, the metallic tang of adrenaline flooding my mouth. It couldn't be. Not again. But as I pushed the door wider, the scene unfolded in brutal clarity. My sister Brooke, her lithe body arched under the dim lamplight, tangled in sheets that still smelled like my perfume. And beneath her, thrusting with the abandon of a man who'd forgotten my name, Mark. The man I'd introduced to her just last week at family dinner. The one who'd whispered promises of forever in my ear that very morning. Rage hit me like a freight train, hot and blinding, but it was the humiliation that pinned me there, silent and seething. I wanted to scream, to claw at them, but my voice lodged in my throat, choked by the betrayal that burned like acid. How many times? The question exploded in my mind as I backed away, unseen, the hallway spinning. Every guy. Every single one. The pieces I'd ignored for years clicked into place with sickening precision. Exes who'd ghosted me after running into Brooke, awkward confessions I'd dismissed as paranoia. She wasn't just my sister. She was the thief who'd stolen every shred of happiness I'd dared to claim. I stumbled into the kitchen, gripping the cold granite counter until my knuckles whitened. The clock on the microwave blinked 7:42 p.m., mocking me with its normalcy. Outside, the city hummed. Horns blaring, rain pattering against the window like impatient fingers. But inside, my world cracked open. Mark's laugh echoed from the bedroom now, low and intimate, the kind he'd saved for our late-night talks. Brooke's voice followed, a silky purr. She won't be home for hours. Relax. The word ignited something feral in me. I pictured her face, those sharp cheekbones, the cascade of auburn hair that mirrored mine but always seemed more vibrant, more alive. We'd shared everything growing up. Clothes, secrets, even the grief of losing Mom to cancer when we were teens. Dad had called us the unbreakable duo. But now? Now I saw the cracks she'd hammered into us, deliberate and deep. Denial crept in first, a slimy whisper in my ear. Maybe it was a one-time thing. Mistake. But no. Flashes of the past assaulted me. There was Jason, my college sweetheart, who'd broken up with me after a weekend getaway, that suspiciously aligned with Brooke's trip to the lake. I'd found her lipstick on his collar, laughed it off as a sisterly mix-up. Then Tyler, the artist who'd painted me nude but suddenly needed space after Brooke modeled for him. And Liam, the one who'd confessed in a drunken text. "Your sister's wild, Alex." Sorry. I'd blocked him, blamed him, never her. Why? 'Cause she was family. Blood. The one person I thought would never twist the knife. I poured a glass of water, hands trembling, the cool liquid spilling over my fingers like tears I refused to shed. Heartbreak clawed at my chest, a hollow ache that made breathing feel like drowning. How could she? Resentment bubbled up, thick and poisonous. Was it jealousy? I'd always been the responsible one. Good grades, steady job as a graphic designer, the sister who picked up the pieces when Brooke's modeling gigs fell through or her flings imploded. She'd flash that dimpled smile, say, "You're my rock, Alex," and I'd melt. But now obsession gnawed at me. Had she planned this? Laughed behind my back. The thought fueled a cold resolve, a spark in the darkness. I wouldn't confront them yet. Not like this, raw and broken. No, I'd wait. And when the time came, make her feel every ounce of this pain. The bedroom door opened minutes later, and they emerged, disheveled and giggling like teenagers. Mark froze when he saw me, his face draining of color, the tie I'd bought him askew around his neck. "Alex, you're home early." His voice cracked, eyes darting to Brooke, who leaned against the wall, arms crossed, her silk robe barely tied. She didn't look guilty. Just amused, a faint smirk playing on her lips. "Traffic was light," I said flatly, forcing my voice steady. Inside, fury roared, but I swallowed it, letting it simmer. "What's going on?" Mark stammered, It's not, we were just talking. Brooke cut in, her tone light, almost playful. She sauntered to the fridge, grabbing a beer like this was any Friday night. Come on, sis. Don't make a scene. Her eyes met mine, challenging, and in that moment I saw it. No remorse. Just entitlement. As if my life was hers to plunder. I turned to Mark. Get out. He didn't argue, grabbing his coat and bolting, the door slamming behind him like a punctuation mark on our relationship. Alone with Brooke, the air thickened, charged with unspoken accusations. You're overreacting, she said, popping the beer tab with a hiss that echoed too loudly. It was nothing. He came on to me. Liar. The word escaped before I could stop it, low and venomous. Humiliation surged again. How many times had she whispered sweet nothings to my lovers? This isn't the first time, is it? She paused, bottle midway to her lips, and for a flicker, something like guilt crossed her face. But it vanished, replaced by defensiveness. What are you talking about? Jason. Tyler. They were jerks anyway. I did you a favor. A favor. Laughter bubbled up, bitter and hysterical. By sleeping with them. You're sick, Brooke. She set the beer down hard, the counter vibrating. You always get everything, Alex. The perfect life, the guys who adore you. I just wanted a taste. Her voice cracked, revealing a vulnerability I'd forgotten. Our shared loss, her struggles with self-worth. But it wasn't enough. Not anymore. Get out, I echoed, pointing to the door. She hesitated, eyes welling, but left without another word, her footsteps fading down the hall. Alone, I sank to the floor, the tiles cold against my skin. Heartbreak gave way to obsession. I'd make her pay. Not with screams or slaps, that was too easy. No, something calculated, something that would unravel her from the inside out. Doubt flickered. Was I becoming the monster? But resentment drowned it. She deserved this. The next days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. At work, I sketched logos with mechanical precision, but my mind replayed the scene, dissecting every detail. The way Mark's hands gripped her hips, her moan echoing his name. Humiliation twisted into anger, fueling fantasies, exposing her to our family, ruining her career. But guilt nipped at the edges. What if she was broken too? Dad's voice echoed in my head. Family first, Alex. Always protect each other. Moral conflict warred within me. Revenge or forgiveness? I chose the former quietly. I started small, gathering evidence. Old texts from exes, pieced together like a puzzle. Jason's email. Brooke was irresistible. Tyler's sketchbook, hidden in my closet, with her face where mine should be. Each discovery deepened the wound, but sharpened my resolve. At night I'd stare at the ceiling, planning. Fear crept in, what if she fought back? But obsession won. She wouldn't see it coming. A week later, Brooke called, voice tentative. Can we talk? I miss you. I agreed, heart pounding. We met at our favorite cafe, the aroma of fresh coffee mingling with the rain-soaked streets outside. She looked worn, dark circles under her eyes. Her usual glamour faded. I'm sorry, she said, stirring her latte endlessly. It's always been you they want. Just sabotage it. Therapy says it's envy. Envy. The word stung, but her confession revealed layers. Our childhood rivalry, her feeling overshadowed. For a moment, pity softened me. But then I remembered the moans, the betrayal. Why every time? I pressed, voice calm, hiding the storm. She shrugged, eyes downcast. Habit. Control. Her honesty was disarming, but it fueled my plan. I'd use it against her. As we parted, hugging awkwardly, I whispered, I forgive you. A lie, but it bought time. Inside, cold resolve solidified. The slow burn had begun. Weeks turned to months, and the city shifted with the seasons. Autumn leaves crunching underfoot like brittle bones, mirroring my fracturing restraint. I played the role of reconciled sister masterfully. Dinners with Dad where we'd laugh about old times, her hand squeezing mine under the table. But resentment festered, a living thing in my chest, fed by every glance at her thriving life. Brooke's modeling career boomed. She landed a major campaign, her face plastered on billboards that mocked me from every corner. Radiant beauty, the tagline read, but I saw only deceit. Inner thoughts tormented me. Was revenge worth it? Doubt gnawed during quiet moments, like when she'd text memes at midnight, reminding me of our bond. But then I'd recall Mark's betrayal, the pattern of theft, and obsession reclaimed me. I planned meticulously a web of subtle strikes. First, anonymous tips to her agency about unprofessional conduct, vague enough to sow seeds, not destroy outright. Her callbacks dwindled, frustration etching lines on her face. Bad luck, she'd say over wine, but I saw the cracks. Suspense built in the silences between us. She'd catch me staring, ask, "You okay?" I'd smile. Never better. Fear tingled, did she suspect? Moral conflict raged. This was gray territory, not black and white villainy. She wasn't evil, she was flawed like me. But justice demanded balance. Guilt whispered during sleepless nights, visions of her tears, but cold resolve silenced it. She'd taken my trust. I'd take her world. The turning point came at Dad's birthday party. The house alive with laughter, the scent of grilled steaks wafting through the backyard. String lights twinkled like false stars, casting shadows that hid my intent. Brooke arrived with a new guy, Ethan, charming and oblivious, his arm around her waist. Jealousy flipped to opportunity. As guests mingled, I pulled him aside under pretense of showing family photos. "Brooke's amazing," he said, sipping beer, eyes bright. "She is," I agreed, voice honeyed. "But has she mentioned her habits?" I let it hang, planting doubt with a raised brow. He frowned. "What habits?" "Nothing serious. Just ask her about my exes." Subtle, deniable. He nodded, unsettled, and I watched from afar as he confronted her later, voices rising in hushed argument. She shot me a glance, suspicion flickering. Tension coiled tighter. That night, alone in my apartment, the rain lashing windows like accusations, I escalated. I created a fake profile, leaked old photos, her with Jason, Tyler, timestamps proving the overlaps. Not nudes, nothing illegal. Just enough to expose the pattern on social media forums where models networked. Whispers spread. Untrustworthy. Her gigs vanished. Obsession consumed me. I'd check her feeds obsessively, heart racing at each defeated post. Brooke confronted me at my door one stormy evening, hair plastered, eyes wild. "It's you, isn't it? The rumors, the cancellations." Denial was my shield. "What? No sis. Why would I?" "Because of Mark. And the others." Her voice broke, revealing vulnerability. "I was wrong, Alex. But this. You're destroying me." Guilt surged, hot and unwelcome. For a second I wavered, her tears mirroring mine from that fateful night. Moral grayness enveloped us. Her betrayals born of insecurity, mine of pain. But resentment won. "You destroyed me first." She left, sobbing, and doubt plagued me. Was this justice or madness? Fantasies shifted. Not just ruin but confrontation. I'd force her to confess to Dad. Watch her empire crumble. The climax brewed at a family cabin retreat, woods enveloping us in isolation, the air crisp with pine and unspoken rage. Dad suggested it for bonding, oblivious to the undercurrents. We arrived under a brooding sky, logs crackling in the fireplace, the scent of damp earth seeping through cracks. Over dinner, steaming stew and wine, I struck. "Brooke has something to share," I said casually, heart thundering. He paled. "Alex, don't." Dad looked between us, confused. "Girls." I laid it out, evidence on my phone. Texts, photos, timelines. Words poured like venom. Anger, humiliation, heartbreak raw in my voice. "She slept with every guy I dated. Stole them." "Why, Brooke?" She crumbled, tears streaming. "Because I hated being second." Mom always favored you. After she died, I lashed out. Her confession hung heavy, motivations laid bare. Jealousy rooted in loss, a cycle of pain. Dad's face twisted in shock, but pity too. Brooke. In that moment, cold resolve faltered. Guilt crashed over me. I'd become the saboteur. But then the twist. Brooke's eyes hardened. You think you're innocent. I know about your tips. Your leaks. She pulled her own phone, showing logs, traced IPs, my digital footprints. I hired a PI. You're done. Panic seized me. Unexpected consequences. My revenge exposed, career threatened by her counterplay. Dad's disappointment cut deepest. Both of you. How did it come to this? We left the cabin in silence, bonds shattered. Poetic justice. Perhaps. I'd sought vengeance, but found only mutual ruin. In the end, obsession birthed isolation, a hollow victory laced with regret. The rain followed us home, washing away illusions, leaving scars that time might never heal.